1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey guys, and welcome to the third episode of the Racing Seat. I'm Rez.
And I'm Matt.
Today on the Racing Seat, we're going to show you how to install a voltmeter into your car.
You're going to need a rotary tool, screwdriver, permanent marker, crimping tool, some tape.
You also need some wire, some crimp connectors, some solder,
and of course,
a soldering iron. Alright,
let's do it. Before we start anything, we've just loosely wired the gauge up with 2 wires, and we're just going to put it straight on the car battery to test if it works.
It's important to know if any electrical things work before you start installing, so you don't waste your time installing it if it doesn't. So it works, we're all good to move on.
So we've decided we're going to mount our voltmeter in this little pocket here next to the steering column, which means we're going to have to remove this piece so we can work on it out of the car. We're also going to have to remove any other relevant interior trim pieces. So let's get to it. Remember to put any loose screws in somewhere where you can find them. We've decided to tap into our cigarette lighter as a power source, so this piece is going to have to come off.
Alright guys, so we're going to wire in our volt gauge now. So you'll see on the back of it, it's got 2 spade connectors for positive and negative. We're going to use a female spade connector bit to connect our wire to the positive and negative terminals on that. So this is how you use it. Get your wire, get your female spade connector, slip it over the wire that you've stripped, and then you grab some wire crimp tools and use the red one, which is this top one here, because it's a red terminal, and you just crimp down on it until it secures over the wire. Alright, and that's crimped onto the wire now. Alright guys, so we've crimped it now, and this is how it slots on. Just get that hole, put it over the spade connector, and just push down. And you'll notice ours is insulated, so we don't have to tape it or anything like that. It's actually insulated against shorting out on other circuits, so that's good. We've also got this negative wire that we're going to use. We've also crimped a connector on this previously, and that one's going to go on the negative in the same way. This one's got a different type of insulation, but it's still insulated. And for the ends of these, what you're going to need is on the power wire, the positive wire, you're going to need a loose end with just bare cable, and on the earth wire you're going to want a ring terminal for the earth. Alright.
So here we got the interior piece that we pulled off the car earlier. Now we're going to mark the back side of where we want to put the meter, and we're going to use the ring we took off as a template. We're going to be cutting our hole out using a rotary tool with a sanding bit, so make sure you wear safety glasses. Now we've conveniently already got a hole cut from a previous fog light switch, but you'll need to drill a hole in the middle first, and then we're just going to cut around up to our marking. Now we're going to test fit the meter. It fits.
Ooh.
So now we're going to secure it onto the interior trim piece with the locking collar.
So guys, we're going to strip back the insulation on the cigarette lighter wire. This is the positive wire that we're going to tap into to get our power for our gauge from. Now we don't have to run a fuse for this install because we're tapping into the cigarette lighter, which already has a fuse.
Alright, so we're going to solder these two together. First thing, we put a towel down so we're not getting any solder on our interior. Now we're going to twist them first to get a mechanical join. See that? Right, so that's nice and strong. Even without the solder, that's holding nicely. So now we're going to get the soldering iron and we're going to coat the terminals with a little bit of grease. I find that helps the solder flow. So that's good. Now we're ready to solder. So if you've never soldered before, hold the soldering iron on the join for a little while just to heat it up first. That'll help the solder just flow straight onto it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get your solder and you're just going to move it on to the tip of the soldering iron and just hold it there. Move it around a little bit. There we go. Until it begins to melt over the join. Just hold the soldering iron there to keep it all hot and the solder will flow into the wire, leaving you with a perfect solder. So now we've soldered it, we're going to let it dry for 2 seconds. Then we're going to electrical tape the join up.
Alright, so that's the complete power wire for our volt gauge. Now we're going to run our wire for our volt gauge through the dash to where we want our gauge to sit.
So now it's time to install our black earth wire. We're using this bolt as an earthing point, so we're just going to take that out, slip our O wire over that, put it straight back in. We're now going to run that wire through the same spot we ran our red wire. So now it's time to put it all back together. Plug your gauge in to the positive and negative terminals. And clip your interior piece back in. Now let's give it a go. And it works.
So guys, that's how you install a voltmeter in your car.
Yes, it is. Why do you install a voltmeter in the car?
Alright, so a voltmeter can help you diagnose if your battery's going flat, if your alternator is not charging the battery, and if you just want to run your sound system in the car park and know when your battery's going to go flat, that too.
Hard parking to filthy dubstep.
Ugh, filthy dubstep. Alright, this is the racing seat. I'm Rez.
And I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.